All right, today we're going to be installing this JMac MMS rail onto this Romanian AK-47 we have. We're also going to be installing this JMac 2-port brake that has the dead air chemo attachment. To do the muzzle brake, we're going to need the face mount shim kit that it comes with the muzzle brake when you purchase it, and the hardware to be able to install the handguard. First thing you want to do is break down the rifle. Set those parts off to the side. So here you want to remove the gas tube, and then we're going to remove the lower handguard. This particular handguard that our customer wanted on here has the sling loop cut, which allows you to keep the original handguard retainer and sling loop without having to make any modifications to it. He wanted to use that one in case he ever wanted to go back to the original wood furniture that the rifle comes with. The customer also wants to change this out to a cheese grater top handguard, so we'll cover that as well. So here's the first piece. Here's the first piece that we're going to be messing with. And you want to take that, put it in, and just kind of, you're just going to put these screws in hand tight. We're not going to tighten them down. It's just to hold it in place while we're putting it together. Still got it loose. We're then going to take the handguard retainer, make sure that it's in the spot that it needs to be, and lock it down. I'm going to take this handguard, hold it up here. We're going to take the top portion here, set it down in there. Then we're going to flip it over and get these screws partially installed. Just want to keep everything loose when you're putting it together. Until you can get everything put together. Then we'll torque everything down once we got it fitted. We just want to make sure that it fits and that looks good. Make sure that we can still get our gas tube on here. So it's going to be the kind of like the look that he's going for, but we're going to change this out to a cheese grater. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through, I'm going to torque all the bolts down, and I'm going to use the blue 243 Loctite that comes with the handguard. Go through and torque all the bolts down to the specifications that JMac gives you. Torque wrench set that I have is just this Wheeler fat stick set. Then I've got the torque specs on my phone here. Let me find it. All right, according to JMac, the clamp that's here coming from the bottom, you're torquing to 20 to 25, and the hand guards are the same, 20 to 25. So I have a 15 and a 25. So I'll go through and torque everything to 15, then come back and hit it with the 25 after I put blue Loctite on them. All right, now that we got our blue Loctite on here, I'm gonna flip it over, make sure it's all aligned on the bottom here. Hold it back, then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna torque these down to 15. I'm gonna change out the stick for the 25. All right, then I'm coming back again with the 15 inch-pounds. I'm going to change it out for the 25 inch-pounds. All right, so now I've got the JMac MMS Handguard installed. Wipe it down, and then we'll start working on installing the muzzle brake for the customer. All right, So here we go. We got our Romanian. I'll put that back together. We got it all cleaned up. It's got the JMac MMS long handguard on it. It's got a cheese grater top handguard. Here on the end, it's got a JMac 2-port chemo muzzle brake that's face mount. So when we put this back on, we put the shims in to get it clocked right, and then cleaned the muzzle brake with alcohol and cleaned the threads with alcohol. And then we used rock set to get it on there, so it'll make it good for when it's using a suppressor. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the rifle back together. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. Should have the master mount coming in the next couple days. Once we get that in, we'll get that back installed back on here. Once the master mount comes in, we'll get it installed on here and then get this shipped out to our customer. So there you have it. It's our Romanian kit put together with JMac parts, Kyber Customs cheese grater, and it'll have a master mount on here. All right, so we've got the muzzle brake put on, we've got the lower hand guard and the upper hand guard put on. The next step is we're going to be installing this master mount. Customer really wanted to have this rifle but not make permanent modifications to it. That's why we went with the JMac parts and this master mount. Master mount's pretty simple to install. You just need to pop out the trigger pins and then replace the trigger pins with the supplied ones in the package here. So it just uses the trigger pins here to hold it on. So get this unpacked and then get it all set up. First thing we need to do is disassemble the rifle. Once we do that, need to take the trigger pins out for these hammer springs. I like to use little needle nose pliers. I bring them up and hold them behind. Then I will take a quick zip tie. Make sure that they don't go anywhere. Snap back on your hand. Now we're just going to pop this trigger pin out and pop this hammer pin out. Set those off to the side. You'll see here, master mount goes right there on those holes. Take the retainer screws out. It's very similar to with that hammer spring zip tied. You can work in here without having to worry about those springs popping off, biting your hand. Hammer spring in. We got the hammer pin in. Now we'll work on the trigger pin. Trigger pin pops in there real easy. Turn this around and thread in these screws here. And we're going to tighten down these screws. Make sure that they hold. Check that master mount is on there securely. We'll use a little bit of blue Loctite. We'll use a little bit of blue Loctite and do one of these screws at a time. I'll take out this trigger screw first. I've already cleaned these screws off with rubbing alcohol. I like to do that, just make sure we have a clean surface for this blue Loctite. Then it says 6 to 8 inch-pounds, and we'll just tighten these down well. Grab a paper towel, and rubbing alcohol on there. Come on and wipe off any of the excess blue Loctite that comes up. Alright. Next we want to make sure that the trigger is still free to move, which it is. We'll come up and cut the zip tie off and carefully let these trigger hammer springs come down into the spot that they're supposed to be in. Test function. And then we will assemble the rifle back together and finish getting it all cleaned up and get it ready to be shipped out to our customer. And we'll just check back here. Master mount's not going to go anywhere. It's a really solid fit. So there you have it. Fully upgraded rifle with just bolt-on parts. No modifications needed. It's a pretty simple build with all the JMac parts and the master mount. It came out real nice. And we'll see you on the next one.